It's hard to believe we're on the second week of summer 2015 of anime already, man. Time flies when you sit back and watch some good anime. It really does. I mean, time really does fly by fast. And so, today I'm going to bring you a Gate anime review on episode 2. So, I first want to tackle a couple things that Chibi's brought to my attention with last week's episode of Gate. Supposedly, this series is being censored. A lot is being cut out and slightly rushed. From what I heard from manga and light novel readers or whatever, a bunch of them told me that this series is rushed and it's been censored out the yin-yang. Like, supposedly, there was supposed to be a lot of build-up in last week's episode, along with a lot of blood and violence that we didn't get to see. And so, for Chibits, a lot of Chibits, not just, one or two, but a lot. Like, I think I got over 100, or even 50 to 100 comments of Chibits telling me about that, and that just tells me right then and there that that's not a good sign. But, personally, I think this episode of Gate was a lot better than the first. Like, this episode was a hell of a lot better than the first when it comes to terms of pacing, to set up, to what was really going on. And I really like this episode because we get to see a lot of things that we should expect from the series, because when I first saw the MC from, the first episode, as I said, it seemed like he cared more about his otaku goods than human lives, and to see how in this episode that kind of just got thrown out the window, and in this we get to see him going to the battlefield trying to save villagers, and you see a badass fucking fight between the Japanese army and, the local nations in this new world. And there's a really good amount of action throughout this entire episode. Like, to sum this episode up, about 80% of the episode is just seeing these different fodder nations come in, trying to fight the Japanese army, and then getting fucking wrecked. Like, 120,000 men, I think that's the accurate number. 120,000 men, 120,000, yeah, got wrecked by the Japanese army. And they were destroyed. Like, it was said and done. They're gone. And it goes to show you the might of the technology. Like, technology is just lighting up those dragons. Those dragons can't do absolute shit to tanks, artillery, anti-air. I mean, they couldn't do shit to Japan. And then also, all those different humanoid creatures that were not human that was also fighting, you see how they just got annihilated as well. So, obviously, from this episode, it seems like Japan has the upper hand. I mean, if you had, like, the other nations, let's say you got Russia, UK, and USA into this, with Japan helping them out on the side of the gate, they're done. They're fucking done. Like, if I'm correct, there's, like, maybe 10 to 20,000 men Japan has. I could be incorrect about that, so don't quote me on that. But if there's, like, only 10,000 people, or 20,000... that's still insane, to wipe out 120,000 men. That's a crazy amount they wiped out. And if they were to add in the armies of different nations on top of this with the technology, this world stands no chance. It stands no chance against our modern technology, from what I can see, unless they start using some bizarre summoning magic that summons fucking giant elementals. I mean, then I can see, the army's having trouble. But until then, for now, it seems like this is kind of a one-sided battle. I mean, the entire episode was just a bloodbath. It was straight up a bloodbath for the people in this fantasy world just getting completely crushed like it was nothing. They were like insects. And amongst this bloodbath, you have the king that was introduced in this episode, like the Imperial Army, the king of the Imperial Army. He set this all up, he orchestrated this all to where the other allied nations would get fucking decimated and destroyed, for he can come in and plague and poison the other villages they own and rampage to where he can get more of their food, money, and wealth and stuff like that. And so to see how this Imperial King set this all up just to gain shit, it's kind of fucked up. You really get to see what type of personality we're dealing with. So, there's our villain of the series. We just now got the villain of the series, but for the most part, can you really say that our team is on the good side as well? Because, I mean, even though there was warning signs, if you think about it, I mean, Japan put up warning signs. They said, this is the self-defense force, do not walk past this line, for your safety, and they continued walking past it and they got killed. So, thinking about it in terms of our world, how it works in today's society, if you think about it, if you go past a certain line in different countries and nations, you're gonna get fucking shot. That obvious. But the way to win about it, there's a lot of things that make it look like Japan is also the bad guy. Because you gotta go figure. The people that, you know, they're invading right now, like this, you know, new world, they might not be able to read Japanese or English, Spanish. I mean, they can't probably read other languages, because I'm willing to bet that they have their own language system that they don't use that's like Japanese. And so, of course, they're not going to be able to read damn signs that say, do not pass this line, because safety issues. It's obvious they would just walk past it because they can't damn read it. So there's a lot of things that really play into both sides being villains, really. But from what I could see, it seems like more of Japan is the villain. I mean, of course, the people on the fantasy world attack first. They attack Japan. But looking at it, Japan just comes over and they're fucking annihilating like nothing. So, I don't know how to think. Overall, Gate, it's a really good series. It was definitely a lot better than the first episode. It got me a lot more invested in the series compared to the first episode. The first episode had some issues I didn't really like, and to see in this episode, it kind of corrected that and went more to I guess, a serious atmosphere that wasn't just focused around comedy. I actually respect this episode quite a bit. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Gate is going to progress next week, because if it does a really good episode, I want to continue watching it. So tell me your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about Gate? I love you all. Please be safe. Chibi out.